So you've probably heard me talk a lot about self-compassion, but what is it? Like, let's just break it down really simple. I know I'm always on my soapbox. Self-compassion is the solution. It is what sustains us. It's the answer. It is superior to self-care in terms of how do we create sustainable lives that feel good, that let us flourish and thrive and light us up and all of the great things. But I think I just need to take a minute to talk about what self-compassion actually is. How is it different than self-care? So first I want to say the easiest way, there are a lot of other ways other people will frame this, but for me, the easiest way to frame it is that self-care is what you do to take care of yourself, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all the ways. Self-compassion is actually a practice. It is a way of being with yourself and also a way of being in the world. It's how we show up. Again, for ourselves and for others. And that's one of the big differences between self-care and self-compassion is that self-compassion, while it is oriented towards the self, does not let us lose sight of the importance of our place in community and our need for healthy connection and, meaningful bonds in our lives as part of our overall wellness and thriving. So, being versus doing. Being versus doing does not mean that once we do self-compassion, we've learned how to be self-compassionate, that we suddenly stop doing self-care. Self-care simply becomes a part of our overall way of showing up for ourselves, in the world, in life, in general. Now, there are 3 core pillars to understanding self-compassion. The first one is self-kindness. And the way I often will describe this is it is both how you talk about yourself to yourself, and it is really a lot of the things you do probably for self-care. What do you do to show yourself kindness? And I think it's one of the places where sometimes we think we're nailing it, but you're really not. I want you to take a second and really think about today, in the last 12 hours. How did you talk to yourself internally? When you made that mistake at work, when you spilt the coffee this morning, when you forgot your keys, when you couldn't find something to wear, whatever happened throughout your day over the last 12 to 24 hours. What is that inner narrative? Is it kind or is it critical? This is the practice to move from criticism to kindness. Now, the second pillar of self-compassion is mindful awareness. And this is really key to being able to do the others. This is about creating space between what we feel, what we think, and how we act. So often we attribute our feelings and our behaviors to things that are happening, things we think about, right? We create these stories. Oh, this person cut me off and this is why I feel the way I feel. And it might be in reaction to that. But sometimes we feel things and we don't give ourselves enough space to actually realize, why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Mindful awareness is about learning how to create that internal pause, to notice that your feelings, your thoughts, and your actions are in fact 3 distinct things that are intertwined. And that if you have more space, you actually begin to have more control over your responses. And then finally, common humanity. That's what they call it in the research. I'm going to talk about it all the time as community and connection. It is recognizing that in order to take care of ourselves, we have to also be reminded that we are part of a larger community, that we belong, that we are part of humanity, even when we feel isolated, even when we feel lonely, even when we feel like our experience is so unique that no one else understands, or frankly, that just no one else cares. And I think in particular, as Black people, and especially as Black women, we feel that weight sometimes. Like it doesn't matter. Like the systems and the way things are designed and the way other people move through the world does not consider us as valuable, as part of the larger collective. We need to be reminded. We need to remind ourselves that we do in fact belong, that we are in fact important, no matter what indirect or direct messages we might be getting from the outside world. So those are the 3 pillars of self-compassion, and combined, this is a practice. It is not some sort of process that you're going to master and now you're great at it, right? Like this is not learning how to, ride a bike. Like at some point you get really good, right? Self-compassion is more like meditating. It's practice. It's something that we show up and we commit ourselves to doing and learning. And even on the days where it seems like we are really being critical to ourselves and we really feel lonely and isolated, and there is no room between thoughts and feelings and reactions, that we can still just take a breath. And that's a moment of self-compassion. We can call a friend, and that's a moment of self-compassion. We are practicing how to be different with ourselves and how to be different in the ways that we show up in the world.